There is something wrong here, and I'm damned if I can put my finger on what it is. I said I didn't want to be disturbed. Actually, Essie's pert tone made him look up. What you said was, I don't want to be disturbed until that big-shot client Raoul fobbed off when me arrives. He's arrived, so I'm disturbing you. His appointment wasn't until 2 o'clock. Jon pushed his dark curls off his face to glare at his computer. It read 2:05. Shit, that means I've worked through lunch again. I did leave your lunch on the side table as requested, Essie added as though reading his mind. Jon often thought that his personal assistant had special powers. I imagine it's cold by now. Or overcooked, Jon thought with a sigh. His daily order of steak salad, hold the salad, was freshly made to his specific requirements. His stomach rumbled, letting him know what he was missing. Please remove the tray and give me 5 minutes before letting Mr. Hollingsworth? Dirk Hollingsworth, owner and chief financial officer of Hollingsworth Holdings. Of course he is, Jon thought crossly. He hated working with family firms. As a forensic accountant, it was his job to track down fraudsters and embezzlers. Finding criminals in a family-owned enterprise was always fraught with danger, usually for the investigator, especially when it came to working with paranormal companies. As a dog shifter, Jon found working with paranormals easier than in the human world, but his shifted form was often an issue with clients. His German Shepherd, or Alsatian, depending on where you were from, was respectable enough among other dog packs, but not considered highly by the more exotic shifters. He idly wondered what paranormal family the Hollingsworths were affiliated with. All Raoul would say was they were high up in shifter circles. Not that it bothered him. While most shifters looked down on him because he didn't shift into something predatory like a wolf or a bear, they soon changed their tune when they realized he was blessed with the keen intelligence, loyalty, and tenacity of his breed. Pulled from his thoughts by the sound of his office door closing and realizing he was on a 5-minute countdown, Jon hurried to the small bathroom attached to his office. He'd been working on the Gordon account for over a week, usually falling asleep at his desk in the early hours. He'd found their missing money. That was the easy part. Finding how the money got stolen in the first place was proving more difficult. The fact that the owner, Vern Gordon, wasn't interested in those details was suspicious enough. Jon's gut told him Vern's brother was responsible, but he had to prove it first. Another family firm, Jon sighed as he splashed his face with water and looked at his reflection critically. His facial features hovered between pretty and handsome, his dark hair streaked with lighter shades that turned almost blonde when he managed to spend time out of the office, which wasn't often. As the most highly qualified forensic accountant in the U.S., he was called in on cases that spanned the globe. Hollingsworth wasn't exceptional, having traveled from New York to his office in California. Some of his clients came from as far away as Australia. I'd better make an effort to look the part. Jon shrugged off his limp shirt, finding another hanging from the rack he kept for just such an occasion. His pants still held a crease, and he eased his jacket over his reasonable shoulders, straightening his cuffs. Running his fingers through his hair, recognizing it was long overdue for a cut, Jon smiled at his reflection, then frowned, settling for an expression in between. It's not as though I need to be too friendly. These guys are asking for my help. Reminding himself his shifter status had no bearing on his ability to do his job, Jon sauntered back into his office, taking the time to slide the papers on his desk into his drawer. It wouldn't do to give his new clients the idea he was careless with confidential papers. Not that they were clients yet. This was a preliminary interview, so Jon could assess the case. If he didn't want to take it, nobody could force him to. It was one of the perks he got for working privately. Dirk Hollingsworth glared across the room at the pretty receptionist. Wolf shifter, if he wasn't mistaken, and he was always right. Not that his glaring did any good. She was busily typing on her keyboard, apparently uncaring he'd been waiting for 10 minutes. 10 minutes! Didn't she realize his time was worth hundreds of thousands of dollars a day? I thought you promised to leave your temper at home, Bryce, his personal assistant, murmured. This guy is the best in his field, and I called in a lot of favors simply to get this appointment. I don't deserve to be kept waiting, Doesn't this guy know how much of an honor...